it going? Welcome to Stand Up at Cal's very first show in Berkeley history. Give it up for our performers tonight. This is our first show as a club. We are about 2 semesters old, not counting the Zoom semester. Thank you so much for joining us in this fire hazard of an event tonight. Can I have Exec come up and introduce ourselves? So, how's everyone doing tonight? Is anyone going to the big game tomorrow? Well, we have bigger game, and it's Pranit! Give it up for Pranit!
What's goody? How's everyone doing tonight? Yeah! Can I get a hell yeah from the crowd? Let me get a hell yeah! Let me get another hell yeah! Alright, that was solid. That was solid. So, if there's 2 things you should know about me, it's that I'm from a small town in Illinois, and I am banned from Centerville Community Park until 2050. So the town I'm from in Illinois was so small that we wouldn't call 911, we just shout. The town I'm from was so small, sometimes they would double space the local newspaper just so they could fill up the pages. And just to really give you a sense of the culture, this was the type of town where alcoholic was a valid response to the question, what are your career plans? And if you've ever been to the Midwest, you will quickly realize why alcoholism is so popular. It's because there's really just not much else to do. Like, for example, one time I was driving through the cornfields, looking for a gas station, a restaurant, really just any sign of civilization. And after a while, I'd been driving for a minute, so I decided to look down at my phone, check Google Maps, and I realized that I'd just accidentally driven through the entire state of Iowa. So that's just what the cornfields are like, man. And the thing about the cornfields is, people from the fields, they really don't give a fuck. And they also have a very bad sense of humor. And when you combine those 2, it's a problem. And I learned this firsthand. I learned this firsthand because the town I'm from, this town that I've been talking about, was called Fuck Off. Spelled Phucof. Pronounced Fuck Off. And, I mean, dude, just in addition to just the general embarrassment of living in a town called Fuck Off, this also negatively impacted my professional career. For example, during interviews, the employer would be like, so tell me about yourself. Where are you from? What does your family do for a living? And I'd be like, fuck off, they're all alcoholics. It got so bad after a point, I just say I'm homeless. You know, in my opinion, that's less embarrassing. Not quite as embarrassing as being banned from Centerville Community Park until 2050, but definitely up there on my tier list of things. I've always found car stickers funny, like the bumper stickers on the back of cars and stuff, because I always wonder what the point of it is, you know? Like, we've all seen that sticker. Have you guys seen the sticker, baby on board? Have any of you guys seen that sticker on a car? I've always wondered, like, generally, what the fuck am I supposed to do with that information? Like, damn, bro, I was actually planning on T-boning you and your piece of shit family. But now that I know there's a little fucking 3-year-old shit pissing in the back seat, I'll wait till you guys change his diaper before I send you guys all to hell. Another one that I'm a huge fan of is the student driver. First of all, props for coming out like that. I was just bored knowing how to drive. It's pretty embarrassing that you couldn't, but props for coming out. Whenever I see a student driver sticker, I like to randomly speed up and slow down. I like to drift in and out of the lanes. Sometimes, if I'm really feeling bold, I'll stick my phone out the window, just that they can see that I have no regard for their or my safety. And I am willing to risk everything over a small ego battle. You know? sometimes I like to honk randomly and watch them panic, trying to figure out what they're doing wrong. You know, you said you're a student. You said you're a student. You're gonna learn today. You're gonna learn what the real world is like. Bitch. And I think that's exactly the philosophy that I was raised with. You know, there's no handouts in the world, and you gotta learn eventually, so you might as well learn soon. You know, when I was a kid, I was friends with a lot of older people. You know, and sometimes older people can be great mentors, and sometimes then they can be the assholes that I was friends with. So these guys would just tell me blatant misinformation, and just tell me the most absurd shit throughout my entire childhood. And I think it really affected my mental development and left lots of gaps in my knowledge. For most of my life, I thought Timbuktu was a made-up place. And that includes right now. Like, do you guys really believe this shit? You guys seriously believe? Have any of you even been to Timbuktu? You guys seriously believe this shit? I'm gonna keep it real with you. If I've ever heard a made-up name, it's Timbuktu. It just rhymes too much, it doesn't make sense. And that's why I like to think of myself as a indie conspiracy theorist. You guys have heard the big ones. Illuminati? That's just boring, bro. Forget about it. Forget about it. I have a lot of indie theories. I can't tell you though, because then they wouldn't be indie anymore. So you guys will just have to go home and like think. That's one of my biggest hobbies, actually. That's what I do in my free time. But yeah, so whenever I meet a conspiracy theorist, I like to outdo them at their own game. You know, they'll be like, "Oh, Bush did 9/11." I'd be like, "Okay. That's a real convenient accusation. Because where were you September 11th? Where were you? Where were you September 11th? That's what I want to know. Who can vouch for you? You know?" So obviously, after firsthand experiencing the negative effects that misinformation can have on the developing brain, you know, there was only one thing I could do, which is continue the cycle by spreading misinformation to any unfortunate child who comes across my path. So one time this little kid wandered away from his parents. I walked up to the kid, I was like, "Yo, kid." Because that's how you address kids. I was like, "Yo, kid, you know 9/11? The kid was kind of confused. You know, this kid has been on Coco Melon since day one. His brain is fried. He thinks 9 and 11 is like fucking like Slurpee or some shit. Oh, please Slurpee. So the kid is a bit confused. I decide to help him out a little bit. So I lean up real close. I go, boom. I wait a bit. Boom. So the kid runs off crying. Shit was hilarious. And on an unrelated note, I'm now banned from Centerville Community Park until 2050. Thank you so much. Let's hear it one more time for Pranit!